She talk a black. I went to see Marcus Greenberg because he's also like a big money holder in in the movie business, up in Hollywood. He has a lot to do with that. So I went to see if, I could find his name with them. And 9 times out of 10, you can always find the names with each other, but I really wanted something to actually grab and say they knew each other, some shit like that, I didn't find that, but I found this. This is a page of people who have left Scientology, but they only want information from ex-Scientologists. So, those who have been chosen by Scientology to be targeted, we can't go in here and say what they're doing to us. Only ex-Scientologists can tell, so you're going to get the same story over and over and over. The same story over and over and over. Different people had to go in the hole. Different people had to clean up the shit. Different people had to slave and do this and that, but you still get the same story from everyone. But I'm going to move fast on this page to go back to the top. And look at all these names. See all those names? So I saw a text somewhere. See, this nigga, his name is Jack Attack. John Attack. I read, I listened to his video a little bit, but I looked at his name. Nigga, your name is Attack. What the fuck do you expect? Of course they're going to attack your ass. And a lot of these people who coming out or telling stories, they have a lot of money. They have a lot of money. A lot of people wonder where the money is going to. Shit, they show it to you. These are all the people who wanted to get out. This person here helped set up the center and became Sydney, Oregon, 1960. I think he stayed until 1990, resigned from the church in 1990. Wonder what all the bullshit did he do. See all these names? Them. I saw a Frankie. If you see the Frankie Robinson. Wow. And I wonder how there are no Davids. I'm shocked there are no Davids. But a lot of them, their name is Davids. So they call themselves. Or they talk about it, Davids. Now, updated list of ex-Scientologists speaking out against the code of Scientology. In 1966, the update is only one. Her name is Helen O'Brien. List of ex-Scientologists interviewed in Scientology, the Now Religion, in 1977. Not that many, huh? 1972, 2 years later, there are more. From 72 to 83, that's 11 years later, right? Look how many it is, see? To make sure you see it, 1983, 11 years later, look how many people have run. OT2 and OT3 and NOTs and shit like that. These people, look how many. He was been there since 1961. What is going on that's making them just now decide to leave? Are they waking up? Who knows? But there are a lot of them. And I was saying David because what's his name? What's that dude name? FARRAKHUN said that there's a Dora attack. Wow. Like to attack Dora's children. What's they doing when they attack the melanated man? They're attacking Dora's children. But there's no David. But what's his name said that FARRAKHUN, he said that Elijah Muhammad whispered in his ear. There's a video of it too. But we don't know what Elijah is whispering in his ear. But he said that Elijah whispered in his ear, you remind me of David. And then someone, I was listening to some, some talk. They were in the nation, or maybe still there, I don't know. But they still, hold hands like by Elijah Muhammad, And they said that Elijah said that he was not the word infiltrator, but another word. Said that's why Elijah never gave him any position. And he said that Elijah whispered in his ear and said, you remind me of David. David is a murderer. If you read about David in the Bible, he's a murderer. And now you have another David miscarriage. Isn't that something? Every time I say miscarriage, I kept reading miscarriage. I thought, I don't know, just blew it. Maybe I wasn't looking at it right, but I just thought that when they said David miscarriage, I just thought somehow he was talking about his wife, miscarriage, So I actually paid attention. See, Maurice R. Greenberg, here it says no Scientology, no Scientology, no Scientology. Plaintiff is Maurice R. Greenberg. But I opened it up, there's no Scientology in there. Some reason they are winding up with Scientology now. The one I actually opened, it had a Hank Levine. No, you have to know the Levine last name. He was in charge of some kind of devil worshipping church in LA, And then here's the Greenberg. And you can't find the Levines in the Greenbergs to be friends. So now I'm going to go to see what Camilla has to say, Even her name to me plays a part in Scientology. But I won't go into her name now, but here it says surviving Scientology. It does not say the victims of Scientology. It is surviving Scientology. Because you have to. You have to come out with your mind. Even the targets, every day we are surviving them, no matter what they do to us, no matter what torture they put on our bodies with no-touch weapons, no matter how they V2K those who get V2K'd, and no matter how they surround us and surveillance us everywhere we go, it's still as though we survived another day. But sometimes I wonder, is surviving a good thing? Am I surviving Scientology just for them to fuck with me tonight when I go to sleep? To put a beam on me because I can't change my bed? To put a beam on me and I cough like crazy? When they want me to wake up in the morning, I'm like a robot. When they want me to wake up in the morning, I just cough, 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 cough. I have to get up out of the bed. Even at night, when this coughing begins, I have to get up out of the bed. And I will still cough for a while after I'm out of the bed. Now, I can get out of the bed and sit in the chair for 2 hours. I will not cough. But the chair is very uncomfortable, especially for my back. One night I went in the bathroom and my walker chair stays in the bathroom. So one night I went in the bathroom and I was still coughing. I was coughing. And I'm always like throwing up water. Because to me, they're waterboarding me some kind of a way. They found some form of a way with the technology to waterboard me, but it's no touch, you see. So I'm throwing up all this water, and I sit in my chair, my walker chair. It's more comfortable than any chair. It's easy to rise up out of also. So I don't mean comfortable as in, cushion. I mean comfortable the way I sit in it to keep my body straight or some shit. But to rise up out of it is more comfortable than any chair. I sat in that chair for a while also. And I stopped coughing for a while. I don't know how long I sat in there, but I fell asleep. I'm thinking maybe I will have to fix the tub up and sleep in the tub so that they can start putting these beams on me. After a while, they would change the program and put the beams in the tub, and then I'll just come get back in the bed. It'll take them a minute to get the program together, but then they would get very angry too. So they would punish me or maybe my son or one of my children. They punish me or my son or one of my children when they want to punish me, because that's what they do. So I'm a survivor of Scientology also, but no one wants to put me on the circuit, you know. If you are a chosen target, it's a possibility you are a target of Scientology too. Whether you say no, it's the CIA targeting me, it's still Scientology targeting you. Scientology has also infiltrated the CIA, the Illuminati. They start these things already being a Scientology, as being a Scientologist. But I'm a survivor of Scientology also. I'm going to start here. I want you to hear this story until she gets to a certain word. She's talking now about the things she took when she decided to leave.
I card my passport, and that's about it.
Did you get on a bus or a plane?
No, I walked down the street. And I walked down the street at 10 o'clock at night in Culver City. Didn't know where I was. I had about $100 in cash on me, $150 in cash. And I just walked, and I knew that nobody would follow me because I didn't know where I was going, and I had no idea where I was going to sleep. I had no clue. I just kept walking, and that bus came up, and it said Santa Monica. I was like, that's a great place to go. So I jumped on the bus and drove to Santa Monica. I'd at least been there before, so I had some way around, and I found a, it's a new form of hotels that I call hostels.
Yes.
It's a new form of hotels that hold hostels.
Because it's dormitories. So
It's dormitories. When she said that, I thought about where I live. She used the word hostels. She did not use suppressive person. She said it held hostels. You see, they changed words. See, I was going to school to be a lawyer. Well, I was in high school, but you can take college courses. And I was going, had to start at the bottom to be a lawyer. It takes a long time to be a lawyer and to get into law school. But when I was there, I learned you have to use different words, like right now, she used the word, it held hostels. When she said that, all I could think about is the building I'm in. But I know what she is saying, suppressive persons were there. You see, that's what I mean by all these Scientologists, and notice they're all pink. They're all pink. Sammy Davis, he was a Scientologist. If you are melanated and you're on the screen, then you're a Scientologist. If you're Illuminati, you're on the screen, you are a Scientologist. You also know the study how to fuck up people's minds. When you watch these melanated ones on TV, the brothers come out in dresses, that's to fuck up your mind. You don't know which one is a brother, which one is a sister. That can fuck up your mind. They're prostitutes, they're drug addicts, they're this and that. That can fuck up your mind. These are things Aleister Crowley found out how to do with radio and TV. Also the sounds that comes out of videos, or the sounds that come out of movies, or the sounds that's on your TV. These things also can fuck up your mind. It may not fuck up your mind for today, but in later life, somehow what you've seen on TV will fuck up your life. Even like you see shit on TV where people are targeted, where someone made a bet that I read that somewhere too. dealing with Scientology. But someone will make a bet. And it was one where these two pink guys, they made a bet that they can, I guess, bring any guy off the street and make them CEO. Eddie Murphy played the part. He was more so like a bum. Not a bum, but a homeless person. Well, they call us bums too when we're homeless. But they took him and the melanated man and put him on the top. And they took the non-melanated man and put him on the bottom. And all they bet it was $1. $1 to mess that man's life up. And that appeared to be a comedy. And this is what I mean by they can fuck your mind up. That appeared to be a comedy. It is to dumb us down. Then there was something else I saw and seemed to have seen all these things in the same day. My children were watching Everybody Hates Chris. I never liked that. But it's funny. Everybody hates Chris. He's melanated. And everybody loves Raymond. He's not melanated. Isn't that something? Well, but I didn't like Everybody Hates Chris. I didn't. I saw an episode where his mom got food stamps. She was too scared to use the food stamps, so she just turned stupid. I mean, I know TV goes far off. But after that, I started also seeing a lot of melanated ones, especially the males, did not want to go to the store with the food stamp card, but they wanted to eat the food that came from the food stamp card. So see, they kind of fucked up their minds. So this time when they're watching Everybody Hates Chris, no, Chris goes to an all pink school. Isn't that something? And so his teacher, the substitute teacher, comes in, and it's so awesome. The substitute teacher, he used to do a certain soda, like the, soda water, a pop. He used to do that type of commercial, but he looks so much like the guy who played Everyone Hates Chris. I said it would be so awesome if he can play in there. And that's why I watched it, because he played in there with the guy who plays Everyone Hates Chris. And to me, they look just alike. Looked like it could have been his son. But anyway, he came to the school as a substitute teacher. He was melanated. And he knew that Chris was around all these pink people. He appeared to be an old school melanated teacher. He felt as though Chris had to be 10 times better, and that's how I learned in school. When I had melanated teachers, I had to be 10 times better. And so he gave Chris all this homework to do, but Chris had certain time to do it, so that Chris would be on this game, because it's not a game to us, but you still have to learn how to play the game. Chris decided to target the guy. Isn't it something? Chris decided to target the substitute teacher. Chris' mind, it was so easy for him to target the substitute teacher than to do his homework. He did all kind of things, falsified papers, everything. This is a goddamn child doing this shit. At the end, the substitute teacher got caught. Chris walks up, and the substitute teacher knows that Chris has something to do with all that. So Chris rather have the guy defamed to defame his character than for Chris to be 10 times better than pink people. That numbs you down. There's another movie. It's by some melanated ones. It's called Scary Movies. In there, the girl gets raped, but they make you think it's a ghost, or you already believe it's a ghost, but that's not a ghost. They're dealing with silent weapons, and a lot of those who are chosen to be targeted by Scientology, they are getting raped, anally raped, also males. uh that numbs you down. So see, it doesn't matter who you're watching on the screen. They find ways to numb you down, or they use different words so that they can throw you off. And she used that the place she stayed in was set up for hostels. I am a hostel. They have put it out into the world that I am a hostel, which they say I am a suppressive person. And who the fuck am I suppressing? Maybe a Scientology, no. But then they laugh at that because no one's watching and no one sees anything I do. But I can't say no one because I know a couple of people do, because they call and we talk about it, so I know they are. But you have to watch what they see. I think this is off at this one. It is a Scientology Incorporated, means they're on the stock market. Camilla Anderson, someone spelled that name wrong. See, I thought it was just this way. Someone put 2 S's in her name and didn't care to go and clean it back up. But there's something to her name here. Kane, right here. Also Carmel, and then you have Illuminati. So I'm not saying, she's lying. I can't say that. I'm just telling you what she says and deal with her name. It says, what happens in an accident? That's actually what she's talking about. Bypass by all of that. And it says, and the sun, and here it has 2 S's. Sometimes I really want to break the names down, but I need more than the names. I need the numbers too. So now I'm going to go to part 3 and go to the end, because I am surviving Scientology. I'm going to go to the end. Shit, talk a lot of robes.